Hello YouTubers. So I'm addressing something I really struggled with. In fact, it was, if I couldn't solve this, I was ready to return this unit. I use the drums a lot and I want variation between my tracks, sometimes completely different rhythm. I had been using this pedal, the Trio, let's take this off here. You'll see the Trio Band Looper Plus, and it's a terrific pedal. But you know, it's got one track, but you can set any different styles of a rhythm in different parts of the song, and that was really handy. Now, I think I found a way to do this, and I owe some thanks to Paul Jones, the channel, Guitar and Stuff, and also Tej, T-E-E-J, for giving me some ideas towards this. So first, just talk to you about how I have my RC-600 set up. I've got these 4 channels here set up as record, play, record, play, record, play, for track 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've got an input effects on these and a track effects on that, and I've kept the undo and I've kept the all start. And I just don't like toggling between different sets of pedals, and 4 tracks was all I ever really wanted when I was using the RC-300. Anyway, that's me. All right, let's zoom in here so you can see what I'm going to do for the settings. So what I have found here, I think, is a good way to record rhythm tracks from the RC-100 into your rhythm parts into your tracks, which are completely different, even different tempos and what have you. And I'm going to show you how you need to set that up. And Guitar and Stuff channel has a good video about how we set up the routing. So we go to Menu, Output, Routing, and we go Input, Rhythm, and go to the end of this, and you'll see there's a rhythm out, and that can be on output or loop. Now we want this on loop so that the boss unit sends the rhythm to the loop. Okay, the next most important setting is in loop on the track setting. We go to the end of that, and we'll see the inputs for the tracks. These are for all the tracks. This is universal for all the tracks. And we want rhythm. Sorry, we're going to scroll down to that and select rhythm. Make sure that that is on. And oh, sorry, this is by individual tracks. So that's track 3. So we toggle through the tracks, and mine are all set to rhythm on. Make sure that that is on. Okay, what I've done, I've already pre-recorded a rhythm part onto track 1 here, and I'll let you just hear that. I turn the rhythm off so you can hear just this track 1. That's from the soul genre. So I'm going to show you how I did that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slightly different variation of that with a different measure length on track 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this up in track 2. Track 2. Now what's important here is that now I have single play mode on, and I think that's important for how you record these. I'm not sure, I haven't tried this in multi-mode. Loop sync needs to be on for recording measure lengths. When you specify a measure length, we need the loop sync on. And as far as I can tell, it needs to be on all the used tracks, and you can see I have it on. So back to track 2. I want a measure length of 16 measures. This is important as well. Tempo sync must be off. That's very important because if it's not if it's on, it's going to force what you've recorded to match the tempo clock. And I might change the tempo clock when I put a third thing on here with a different tempo, and you'll see that. So leave that off. Okay, that's all we need. And just, I haven't double checked this really, but on play, I always match the length that I want of the loop as well. I've got 16 there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, one other thing I should mention, you want to make sure that your rhythm level is correct, because this is your only chance to set that. I've got mine quite low because these are pretty loud when you've got your other inputs, and for me, around 35 is good. Actually, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. This is part of the chorus. For the verse. Okay. So you got to make sure you get that right and, test around with that. One other very important thing. On your loop, on your record, you have the order of record, play, or record, dub. Very important that you have this in record, play if you're not using the auto measure. Because if you're just going to time it, which you can do, but I recommend that you use the auto measure because you'll get an exact fit. But if you're just going to time it and you hit record at the end of your loop, it's going to keep recording if it's on dub, and it's going to double over recording your rhythm, and that'll sound awful. Anyway, so I got that just in case set to record play. Okay, everything's set how I want. I'm going to set the rhythm that I want to put here. And I've got it on sol, 1 beat. This is slightly different from what I had on the first track. I've got a different variation. I've got a different kit. And I'm going to record this. I think we're ready to record. Now, what you'll see I'm going to do, I'm going to hit record. I'm going to hit it again, and that's going to flash stop. That means it'll stop at the end of the specified measures. Oh, undo that. Very important that you have rhythm on when you do this. Here we go. Okay, now you can hear the doubling over, but it's gone to play mode, not overdub. So it was important actually that I did that because it didn't stop. It just went into the next mode. So I turned that off. You can hear the difference. On, that's doubled, and off. Okay, let's turn that off. So there it is. It's there now, and it's just the length I wanted. It's just how I wanted it. Okay, now I'm going to do something very different for track 3. I've got all the settings correct. I've got loop sync on. I've got the routing correct. But for the rhythm, I'm going to do something very different. I found I want a straight ahead kind of 4-on-the-floor type beat, and I found one in the punk. There it is. Punk 8-beat 4. Variation A, and I'm changing the kit to dance. So that's a very different thing. And the other very different thing is I'm going to double the tempo to 152. So you can hear that you can have, this is why it's so important to have tempo sync turned off while you do this. I'm also going to now set the for track 3, I'm going to set the measure length to 24. That's what I want, because it's double the speed. I normally want 12, but it's this one's double the speed. I'm also gonna what else am I gonna do here? Oh yeah, so on the play 1 for track 3, I'm gonna double check. Yeah, that's on 24 as well. So just check that, track 3, 24. And we've also got tempo sync off, and we've got lip sync on. Okay, so, and the other thing I'm gonna do for this is, because it's quite a strong beat, I'm just gonna listen to that. How's the level of the rhythm there? Actually, it's pretty good. I'm gonna keep that about where it is. Okay, so we're gonna record track 3 now. You see, I hit that again, so it should stop at the end of the measure I want. Okay, turn that off, stop it, and there it is. And we can see it now on our loop progress. Now what I'm gonna do, because this is important, I'm gonna go back into the track settings, and I'm gonna turn, I've got the rhythms that I want. I'm gonna turn loop sync off now on on track 3, track 1, and track 2. And you probably know that having loop sync off means that when you play, and we can cue up the next one. If I had loop sync on, that would have started playing, and we don't know where it's going to come in. But now. Okay, I'm just going to stop that. So I'm just going to play this one, because it's quite a short loop, and we can see I'm going to cue the third one, which is double the tempo, completely different genre, completely different kit. And there you go. And I think that pretty much answers it. Now there is one other. I'm going to save this. Quite like what I've done here. There's quite there's another method that I'm briefly going to touch on, and I put it here, right? Okay, this is a track that. And you might find the case where if you record at home on your DAW and you have rhythm tracks that just can't quite find what you want in the Boss, you can, of course, export using the Boss Tone Studio your basic rhythm track. You can add bass, whatever. And I did this, and I just want to show you how I did it. I used the Boss Tone Studio. There's a good article on sweetwater.com on how to use the Boss Tone Studio, because of Boss itself, as you know, they don't provide hardly any instructions. What I did was I exported a short loop here, and you see it's just a little 4-measure thing, because at the start of my song I like building up. Again, I add bass to that and add some riffs. And then quite happy with that, just let it keep going, yum, yum, yum. And that was the difference with this, which was great, but you couldn't just let one of these loops keep playing, And then when I'm done with that, I'm queuing on to the next, which is the rest of the song. And So you can see it's got a bass in there that I had. This is a song of mine. And there you go. And the important thing when you do something like this is leave the tempo and loop sync settings alone. I'll actually want loop sync off. Leave the tempo settings alone. And I think you want to see if I have them off, actually. I think I do. Oh, they're on. So yeah, the tempo sync is on. And on track 1 it's on as well. And it didn't seem to affect anything, even though the tempo that it shows is like 137, and it's not. It's an 80, I think it's 83. The important thing when you do something like this, you got a loop going here, is you want to set your track 2 to a single shot for the rest of your song. All right, if you've got any questions about any of this, leave them in the comments and I'll have a look if you want me to go into more detail about the DAW one. But I hope this has been helpful. All right.